How do you maintain focus when something hard happens, big crash, and then you got to go back in? Is that a challenge for you?
It is a challenge, but it's important skill in this sport. Whether we're talking about small mistake or a big mistake, it's a certain skill that you need in this sport to be able to deal with those mistakes, whether it's a small or big one. And I think in that thing for me, what's the most important is to be like self-honest and accepting, okay, yeah, I messed up, and what's the best thing next that I can do? Usually it is to understand the mistake, why it happened, how can I prevent it from happening again, and then move on. Then don't look back.
Sounds like you kind of had this confidence that's really been with you through your career. You know, just hearing the way you describe it. Have you ever lost your confidence?
Yeah, I have. I have in my career many times, and I think probably the worst one was 2018, which was my second year at Mercedes. The whole season just didn't quite start well, and I started a bit over trying, and then eventually there was a bit of a gap between me and losing the points, and I just became having to be in the support role. And to accept that, that was really eating my confidence. Because of course I wanted to be there to win and, you know, do things my way. But yeah, having to be in the support role, that was hard to accept and definitely lost the confidence, especially towards the end of the year, to a point that winter I was this close of retiring from the whole sport and to walk away from F1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty deep. And now when I look back at it, it almost looks and feels a bit like silly, but when you're in your thoughts and not in a good mindset, yeah, things can be tricky.
Have you gone through dark periods in the sport?
I have, like when I had this overtraining period, which totally to like recover fully from it, while I was still obviously racing actively, it was almost 2 years that I got to the same fitness than before. And at the same time, mentally it was quite tough because I wanted to train, I wanted to, feel good, but yeah. So at the same time, eventually, when like physically your body is on the limit or tired, you can always kind of deal with just mental strength, just push through and adrenaline. But at the same time, your mental reserves also start to go down. It's a bit like a battery, and I definitely hit that bottom and. Felt it was a good eye-opener for me that, okay, I need to figure something out and find a different way if I want to have a long career. I've definitely learned that sometimes I've overdone things, like I pushed myself too hard. In terms of my mental and physical capacity, I found my limits earlier on in my career. It was only 2014 I managed to get myself into this like overtraining syndrome. So just really, the whole body was like tired, stressed, not recovering anymore. I was training too much, eating too healthy or too little, let's say. And I found my limit. And that as well, that was pretty good eye-opener mentally for me. Like, maybe I need to have something else sometimes than F1 if I want to have a long career. Because yes, you can have great career, but a short one if you don't take care of yourself. If you're burning the candle from both ends, it's not sustainable. So that's something I've learned, to find your own limits. Like,
how do you balance I'm guessing that in your DNA is to win. How do you balance your ambition with results when they're not where you want them to be?
Yeah, it's not easy because naturally you always want to win everything. That's been in me since a child. But you gotta understand this sport. There's normally only 1 or 2, sometimes 3 drivers that can realistically fight for the title and consistently be on the podium. That's how it goes, because you need to be in the right team, in the right time. But I know the name of the game. Like my first year in Formula 1, we had not a great car. I was there pretty much at the back most times. Sometimes I think I only got once in the points in my first season. So yeah, and then next year things started to go better. But again now, like 2023, it's been a challenge. But what motivates me is the future, because I still have my goals. I know that there's always ups and downs, and the main thing for me is to remind myself what I still want out of the sport, and that's still to get closer to the top, eventually get back on the podium and even winning. So that is my motivation when things are tough. I try to remind myself of those.
Can we talk about fear? Is it a factor for you?
In the car, never. Never. It's only if I've lost the control of the car, if I'm just about to crash. Let's say on a qualifying lap, the first corner you have this little bit of a lock-up tire, you lose the line a bit. You have to be able to forget that immediately, because if you keep thinking about it, that I need to recover it in the next corners, that's your lap done, ruined. Nothing good will come out of it. So let's say I've lost the back end of the car and I know that, okay, I'm going to that wall fast. That's uncomfortable, and that could maybe a bit of fear in there, like how it's gonna hurt. But while I'm in control, no fear at all. And I'm a terrible passenger. An example, I've been in like ice rally car as a passenger of my girlfriend. That's horrifying, because when I'm not in control, then I'm not good.
No way.
But as long as I know that I have the control, all good.
Okay. Do you have any career regrets?
Career regrets. Only thing I would say is I was too hard on myself. In my first 2 years in Mercedes, I really couldn't accept the fact that I didn't win the title in those early years, because I wanted it immediately. And I definitely made my life more difficult by just being too harsh on myself. So if I would have given myself a bit more time, maybe I could have found that flow a bit easier. But apart from that, no regrets, because the main thing is when I look in the mirror, I know that I've done everything that I could. Like, I've given everything. I've just always tried everything, always tried to find something more and be the best version of myself. Sometimes it's good times, sometimes bad times, but sure it's made me tougher.